What's up? This is Ro James, and you know I got soul.
All right, you know I got soul here. Very excited to be with Ro James. What's going on?
What's up? What's up?
Man, we just got to get started talking about that new song that you dropped with the Biggie verse, produced by
yeah,
Salaam Remi. Just talk about that song a little bit.
I've been working on this new album for about 6 months, and I went to Miami, and me and Salaam got in, and that was a song we did on the first day of working together. Salam's from New York too. He's from Queens. I'm from Queens, so we just had to connect, and we talked about bringing back that vibe of New York and that grit and that dirt, but on some R&B shit, you know.
Right. And what made you guys decide to put Biggie on the actual song?
Oh man, because I felt like the song needed some hip-hop energy, and I was doing it myself, and he found this sample of Biggie, and he was like, let's put this in here and try it, and it just worked. And so, we put Biggie on it, paying homage to 90s hip-hop and R&B, which plays a huge influence on my, my artistry. So yeah.
Right. And Biggie in particular, what does he mean to you?
Biggie is a icon, a legend in hip-hop, you know what I mean? And being from New York, and just that 90s era, bad boy, you appreciate the feeling, you know what I mean, of R&B and Biggie, of hip-hop and R&B, fuck. And Biggie had that, Biggie had that essence, that grit, that dirt, but that voice, the tone, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Cool. So is this the sound that we'll be expecting on your new album? I feel like you and Salaam, that was like a perfect combination right there. You have a very eclectic sound. He has a very diverse sound as well.
Yeah.
Is that the direction?
Salaam is a legend, man. Salaam is so dope. He's been in the game for so long, working with so many different people. I got in with him, and we have a few songs that we made and put together. This actually was something we did off a whim. Like, we just did it on our first time getting in the studio. So he's definitely gonna play a part in the new sound of the album.
Dope. Talk about some of the other material you've been working on.
It's all a secret, man. I try to keep it low key. I feel like I try to keep my hand close and just play my cards right. But I have an EP coming out on Friday, the 23rd, and you guys will hear 4 songs. The EP is called Smoke and Mirrors. And the first part, it would be a 2-part EP, and Smoke comes out next Friday.
Cool. So I want to just bring it back to Permission.
Word.
That was one of the biggest songs of 2016. I feel like that song kind of opened up the doors for what we're hearing in urban radio today with R&B. Mm-hmm. It was it had sort of that D'Angelo flavor to it, but it was also very progressive, very modern. Looking back at that record for you, what do you think it did for R&B?
Wow. I think it gave a different perspective to R&B. I think it allowed people to see that R&B is fly again. It has a fresh feel. You know what I mean? I don't come alone. I come with like other greats and other artists around me who I feel embody the same thing as me. But Permission in particular, I just feel like it bridged the gap of old school and new school. People who appreciated the Mac soundtrack, but also appreciate the knock and the ride of a track, but at the same time appreciate Prince. When I created the song, I really had no intention of even tying Prince into it, but I kept getting these Prince comparisons. But what I realized was it was just the soul and the falsetto and just the musicality that people were missing, and I felt like I brought that back.
Right. And of course, your record hit #1 on Urban AC.
Mm-hmm.
For the newer fans, because obviously we've been supporting you since way back, but for the newer fans that have just, joined you after listening to Permission, what was the feedback when they listened to your debut album? Because, like I mentioned, you have such an eclectic sound. It's not just a bunch of Permissions.
Yeah.
So what was the response that you got for the other records?
It was a great response. I feel like, I try to tell a story with my music and my art. Coke Jack and Cadillacs was my EP. It just told the beginning of my journey. Eldorado represented my first album, and I feel like people have been taking this ride with me. It is an eclectic sound. I love so many different styles of music, from country, rock, R&B, reggae, hip-hop, gospel, and I feel like I'm truly inspired, and I embody all these different sounds. And with every project, my mission is just to share all those different facets of me, all the things that I appreciate, but not being boxed into a specific genre or sound, but being free with my music and just being an artist, you know. So yeah.
Right. And really, it hasn't been that long since you know, you last released music. But of course, 6 months in today's music industry, that's almost right away. You know, do you kind of feel like you may have gotten lost in the shuffle a little bit? Is that a little bit of a concern?
Nah, I have no concerns with that. You know, I do realize that the climate of music is put music out, put music out, put music out, and I wanted to re-gauge and realign myself and make sure I was right mentally and emotionally, you know what I mean? And I wanted to tell a story. I feel like I don't want to get lost in the shuffle of just being oversaturated. I want people to respect my work and to listen to it and get something from it, learn something, feel something, you know. And I feel like if I put too much out, you lose the feeling. You're detached because you're expecting it. You know it's out there. You know it's in abundance. It's too much of it. But when you hold something precious and you say, you know, I'm gonna give this to you every 2 years, you tend to appreciate it a little bit more. You tend to memorialize it and to consider it for art versus just being something that's here and gone. Just like, you know, I think we're in the world of hip hop, you know what I mean, where it's song, you know what I mean? And I come from like wanting to mold my career after greats like Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, Otis Redding, Prince, Michael Jackson, and they took their time with projects and put their packaging together and put their pictures together and put the videos together to where it's cohesive. And when you hear the title, you're excited about it and you want to see the videos. I miss that in music, and I don't care if people put songs out every week or every day. I want people to respect my art and my music, so I'm gonna tell you a story. And if I get lost in the shuffle, fuck it. Right.
So new music coming. You know, just talk about some of the producers you've been working with. You said Salaam being one of them.
Yeah. I've been moving around this time. Excuse me. I wanted to experiment. I try to do that every time to grow. I feel like putting myself in situations that are new. Salaam, I've never worked with them. We got 3 joints, maybe 4. I worked with Dre and Vidal, but Dre. Cool. And we got some joints, Blended Babies. I mean, I moved it around so many different people. You know, it's the thing about it is, it's like, do you want to go to the top producer and spend like $100,000 on a track, or do you want to go to somebody you can sit down with and tell them like, yo, this is my vision of what I hear for this particular project. This is my vision for what it sounds like. These are some sounds, these are some feels. We sit down, go over some old vinyls and catch a vibe and smoke and really have communication about what this feels like, you know. And I feel like unless I could do that, it's hard for me to just work with people, you know what I mean?
Right.
I could work with a big name, but it's just a song. I want to make a movement, a feeling, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Right. Now, one of my favorite songs off your last album was the one that Camper produced. Already know that.
Word.
You know, just listening to that song, there's so many layers to it. How did you guys come up with that song?
Oh man, Camper's family, man. So it was just a vibe. We was listening to a whole bunch of music, recording a whole bunch of songs, and Ryan Toby, man. I don't know if y'all even know who Ryan Toby is, but
from
Ryan
City
Toby
High,
is from City High, from Sister Act. He was in, and he is so fire with the melodies. He came in and just kind of like went in the studio, I mean in the booth, and that's how we came up with the joint.
Cool. And then lastly, I'm not sure if you ever encountered her, but you guys kind of came from that same era. Leah LaBelle passed away not too long ago. Were you close with her at all?
That was one of my best friends, man. One of my great friends. I've known Leah for like 10 years, and it's very sad because we came up together.
Right.
Encouraging one another, pushing one another to be strong. You know, R&B for a long time has been said like R&B is dead, you know. And Leah LaBelle has such an amazing voice, and it's like a crew of us: Alameda, Luke James, Bridget Kelly, Winter Gordon. Like, we all came up around the same era, encouraging one another. Chauncey Sherrod, who goes, well, his name used to be Rocky Evans, but he goes by Chauncey Sherrod now. But it's just like we have a family of artists that encourage one another in New York and pushed each other, you know. And Leah was one of those people that was special, and we were proud when she signed to Pharrell and she got her deal, because we knew, you know what I mean, that she had worked so hard. So just knowing that she passed and just it's so crazy. It's a reality check. It's like, yo, get it together, man, and do your shit.
Right.
Like, do what you're supposed to do, because tomorrow's not promised. Like, it makes me realize, even for myself, like, she was so great and she had so much to do. Right. Like, what do I want to do before I really leave? You know what I mean? So it's just a reality check, and it actually broke me out of, I was in like this little depression with my music and trying to figure it out and shit, and her passing pulled me out of it. Like, one day at a time, you only get one life and you gotta do this. So God bless Leah LaBelle.